From the Tarble Arena on the campus of Carthage College, it's CCIW Division III basketball tonight as the Wheaton Thunder come to Kenosha to take on the Carthage Redmen. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our broadcast. John Weiser with you here at the Tarble Arena as we get set for the first meeting of the year between these two schools. They split their meetings a year ago, and it should be an exciting ball game here tonight as the Redmen cap off a three-game homestand hosting the Wheaton Thunder tonight. Wheaton coming in with a record of 11-4, 5-2 in the CCIW. They are receiving votes this week in the latest D3Hoops.com poll. Meanwhile, the Redmen come in at 9-6, 4-2 in CCIW play. Carthage coming off a win here at home against Elmhurst on Saturday, 63-57. In that ball game, Keenan Baltimore, his second appearance of the season, scored 15 points on 5 of 17 from the field. Jordan Thomas chipped in 13. Sean Johnson, an interesting game of a little over 12 minutes of play, 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots in that contest against Elmhurst on Saturday. As the Redmen come in averaging about 74 points per game, they were held under their season average by a good 10 points by Elmhurst on Saturday. They're shooting the ball at about 45%. And hitting their three-point shots at about 33%. Rebounding going up a little bit. They're now a plus rebounding team, a +1 on the glass. And they're getting almost 14 assists per game while turning it over a little less than 13 times a ball game. Jordan Thomas is the leading scorer, one of 4 players averaging 20 or more points in the conference. He's averaging just under 21 per game. And he's also our best three-point shooter for the Redmen at 43%. Brad Cruz leading the team in rebounds. Kamal Shasi leading the team in assists, along with Brad Cruz in steals and Brad Perry leading in blocks. Matter of fact, the Redmen are ranked 9th in all of NCAA Division III in blocks per game at just under 9 per contest. So Redmen have had some interesting ball games here of late, and they hope to make it better here tonight. They've won 2 of their last 3, going all the way back to the game right after the new year against Illinois Tech on Saturday night a couple of weeks back. And they open up this homestand with a 69-65 victory over Carroll, knocked off Elmhurst on Saturday, and then we'll wrap up the homestand here tonight against the Wheaton Thunder. And the Aston Francis, the show, as Bosco called him in the newspaper this morning. Wheaton coming in with Aston Francis averaging just under 30 points per game, 27.9 overall. But in the CCIW, in the 7 CCIW games, he's throwing up 34 points per game. He has 43 made three-pointers, and that is nearly double the amount Colin Lake in conference right now. Francis at 31 points per game the other night in the loss to North Central. He was 10 for 26, 8 for 18 shooting the three ball. He also got to 7 rebounds. Trevor Gunter chipped in 11. Ricky Samuelson, another key figure in this team that we got to watch tonight. Samuelson with 7 points. He's their second leading scorer at 17.9 per game. So this is a very good Wheaton team. Some might say a little bit ahead of schedule. This is a team that I think found itself out west when they took their trip out west and knocked off a couple of very good opponents out there, and I think was their beginning of their good fortune, if you will, as they defeated Whitworth and George Fox. Whitworth was ranked nationally. That was a 92-84 win back in mid-December. The standings going up right now as of tonight: Illinois Wesleyan with a half-game lead over North Central and Wheaton, Augustana and Carthage at 4-2, Elmhurst at 3-3, Milliken at 1-5, North Park 1-5, Carroll 0-6, but that record does not belie the fact that they have been in all 6 of those ball games. The games tonight that we will keep an eye on: 24th ranked Illinois Wesleyan hosts Milliken, number 8 ranked Augustana is at Elmhurst, and North Park is at Carroll tonight. So that gets you caught up to date on everything around the league as well as with this one. But let's get Bosco Jurkovich's thoughts on tonight's ball game. We will do that right after this 60-second break. You're listening to Redmen Basketball on AM 1050 WLIP. Yes, sir. You're welcome. Oh, no, I had to do that. That's yours, man. Sure. Okay. Okay. Welcome back to the Tarble Arena, everyone, as we get set for basketball tonight. Redmond taking on the Wheaton Thunder, and joined now by head basketball coach Bosko Jarakovic. Bosco teaming on the tail end now of a 3-game homestand. You've gotten this homestand off to a good start, winning the first 2, and nice to cap this one off with a victory here tonight.
Certainly would be a tough game, as we know. Wheaton playing exceptionally well, perhaps as well as anybody in the league, and it's not going to be an easy night for us, but we're playing well. I thought we played very solidly against Elmhurst on Saturday, and let's see what tonight brings.
A couple of players stood out in the last couple of ball games. Obviously, getting Keenan Baltimore back is huge. Just having his presence in the lineup gives a little lift, I think, to the rest of the team.
It changes the defensive perspective for the opponents. They now have somebody that they have to worry about perhaps before anybody else, and that does open up some lanes for some of the other players, whether it be inside group of Perry and Johnson, whether it be your outside group of Thomas and Cruz. He's a really good offensive player, Keenan is, and requires a lot of defensive attention.
The other player that got some pub over the weekend is Sean Johnson. He had only, 9 minutes of that ball game and 5 blocks, 4 points, a couple of rebounds.
When you watch Sean Johnson play, it's hard not to walk away impressed. His length, his ability to run the floor, and his timing are very, very special for a guy that's 6'10" in the CCIW. He's got a ways to go before he's the finished product, and that's to be expected for a freshman, but he gets better every game he plays, and we couldn't be more excited about his potential.
And that is a huge luxury, being able to go 40 minutes big in the post.
It is. The only thing that might be better, and we're not quite there yet, is going beyond 40 minutes in the post with those two guys and letting them start to play together some. And that will happen. Whether it'll happen tonight, 2 games from now, or next year, I'm not sure. But there will be a time when you're going to see Sean and Perry playing at the same time.
The opponent tonight, the Wheaton Thunder, Aston Francis. You were quoted in the paper this morning as the show will be in town here. Andy Horshak's article, I got a little chuckle out of that.
I've seen a lot of great players in this league. I don't know that I've ever seen one that's a more unique offensive talent than Aston Francis. He doesn't play at the greatest percentage, but his ability to score the ball in a variety of ways is unique to our league and really hasn't been done very often. And if you didn't have to play against him, he's fun to watch.
And you've been around this league. I mean, the Kopczynskis and the Shaws that have played in this league, you've had a couple off your teams at North Park that have been scoring threats like this.
Well, different kinds of players, certainly in some cases I think perhaps even better players, but none that played with the offensive creativity that Aston Francis plays with, and that goes back to everybody from Tommy Dykstra at Wheaton to Barrich and Mike Thomas that we had at North Park to some of the other great players that have played in this league. And he's really unique. He really is. He's never out of range. He can shoot it off the dribble. He can shoot it off the catch. He can shoot it off the drive. He can shoot it off the post-up. You have to do a good job on him.
$1 million question, how do you defend someone like that?
Well, we're going to try 2 or 3 different ways. And, I was telling somebody earlier today, I think it might have been Steve that asked, I think that you're sort of at the mercy of how he plays, because he's going to find his way to 20 shots, 22 shots, 24 shots. At the end of the night, he's 9 for 25. You've got a better than average chance of winning the game. If he's 16 for 27, and he's had some of those too, then you really have to be able to score the ball to beat him. And, I think we can do it either way, but it'd be nicer for us if we did a good job defensively.
I think the other player, too, to keep an eye on is not just Francis, but you've got Samuelson out there that's a very good three-point shooter, and Eichelberger, who's played some in the post.
Their overall team is very good offensive basketball team. Samuelson is the kind of a guy that as a senior you have to appreciate as a coach. He's gotten better and better and better. He's shooting 58% from the floor in his three-point attempts. That's very impressive. And their size is good. The Spencers, the Eichelbergers, the Gunthers, none of them are stick out. This is the greatest player to play, but they're good, solid CCIW players with good size, and they all fill a nice role for Wheaton, who's playing very well.
I was going to say, they're kind of the surprise of the league here, sitting at 5-2, making the turn.
I don't know if they would agree with you. I think that Mike thought going into this year that a lot of them, first year with Francis at Wheaton, and a lot of guys who were playing their first extended minutes last year. And he thought that they had developed a little bit of something at the end of the year that they were going to be strong this year. And I think that perhaps he even understated because they're a very good basketball team.
Your team now, keys here tonight. What's it really going to take on both ends of the floor for you?
Well, we have to be able to attack their defense, which is a little bit different from some of the other ones in the conference. They're a little bit more aggressive on the wings. They front the post a little bit more than some people do. We have to be able to take advantage of what they give us. Have to hold your own on the boards because they're not a particularly good rebounding team either. They're a -1 rebounding team. If at the end of the night you've got a +6, +8 rebounding advantage over them, that's an advantage you. And then you just have to make them work for their shots. And Shassi's done a very nice job on the one-on-one matchups that we've asked him to take on. And hopefully he'll do a good job tonight on Francis.
One big key for a Redmond win tonight, what would it be?
Out-rebound them by 8 or 10 and we'll take our chances.
I'll live with that. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Johnny.
Head basketball coach Bosko Jurkovich joining us on our pregame as the Redmen get set to take on the Wheaton Thunder. We'll have the starting lineups and tip-off of tonight's game right after this on AM 1050 WLIP. There I am. Okay. No, I can't hear it on that end, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tarble Arena for this evening's CCIW game between Wheaton College and Carthage College. The NCAA promotes good sportsmanship by seeking athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation this evening by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. The NCAA and the CCIW thank you for your cooperation. Now please direct your attention to the American flag at the north end of the arena. It bears the coffin of Captain Frank Bammer, a former Carthage student who died in Vietnam in 1970. The flag is given to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Bammer, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country, and we honor those today who put themselves in harm's way in service to America. In honor of America, please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem this evening by our Carthage Pep Band.
Carthage Pep Band with our national anthem tonight from the beautiful Tarble Arena on the campus of Carthage College. John Weiser with you. Glad you're along tonight. We welcome in our fans down at Wheaton, all the Wheaton Thunder fans that are tuning in tonight on the video stream as well as on WLIP.com. Thank you for joining us tonight. Starting lineups for the Wheaton Thunder tonight. At forward, it'll be Kobe Eichelberger, a 6'5", 200-pound junior out of Maitland, Florida. The other forward tonight will be Jay Spencer, 6'8", 180, a sophomore out of Chicago Christian. Luke Peters at a guard. Peters at 6'3", 170, a junior out of Medina, Ohio. Ricky Samuelson, teammate of Jordan Thomas at New Trier High School. He is a 6'3", 185-pound senior. He is the second leading scorer at 17.9 per game. And the other guard, the show, out of Tyler, Texas, Aston Francis, 6'1", 190, a junior, transfer from Tyler Junior College. He is the leader in scoring in the CCIW. Mike Showers, the head basketball coach, 141 and 91 in 9 years at Wheaton. 288 and 184 in his 17th season as a head coach. To the scores table we go. Time for the starting lineups for your Carthage Redmen. So familiar lineup for the Redmen. It'll be Thomas, Chassis, Baltimore, Cruz, and Perry. Baltimore making his third appearance of the season. He was shelved throughout much of the first half of the year. Had a tendon problem in his right thumb, repaired surgically, back in the lineup for his third straight game. Bosko Jurakovic, the head basketball coach for the Redmen, 344 and 213 here at Carthage. In 31 years, including his days at North Park, he is 540 and 289. On the whistle tonight will be Brian Fitzgerald, Rob Kruger, and Scott Turney. Wheaton wearing the navy blue jerseys, navy blue shorts trimmed out in white and orange. Redmen in the home whites, white jerseys, white shorts trimmed out in red and black. Spencer and Perry to jump center. Brian Fitzgerald will toss it up. And we are underway. Opening tip brought down by the Redmen. They will work it left to right. Glad you're along tonight for Carthage Redmen basketball on 1050 WLIP. Quickly into the post, it goes to Perry. Over Spencer. Laid it short. Rebound inside. Pulled out of there by Chassis. He'll reload up top to Baltimore. Man-to-man defense. You heard Bosko mention they will pressure hard on the wings. And that ball goes right or left. Got to watch that. Now inside Perry. Right block turnaround shot over Spencer. No. Loose ball inside. Dug out of there by Eichelberger. He will give it up. Luke Peters down the floor. Back to Eichelberger on the trail. Left open for the three. Dropped it in. Kobe Eichelberger coming in just 9 for 25 at the arc. Drops that one in to start the ball game. 3-0 Wheaton. And now a steal by Peters. He'll take the basketball the other way. Gets past Shazi going up right side. Shazi with a hack. And Peters spills to the floor. Hopefully he's okay. Luke Peters on the drive. Coming down the right side that time. And at the last minute, little cavalier defense by Chassis. Stuck his arm out and commits the foul. 2 shots upcoming for Peters. Peters has started all 15 ball games this season for Wheaton. Comes up empty on the first free throw. Peters just 41% at the line. 18 of 44 coming in. Missed that first one badly. Second one on the way, good. 1 for 2. It's a 4-0 Wheaton lead. We're a minute in here in Kenosha. Chassis across midcourt. Works it off right wing, up top to Baltimore. Inside to Perry once again. Perry to Spencer, back out to Baltimore for the triple. Got it. Keenan Baltimore. Fadeaway 3 from the top of the circle. Gets the Redmen on the board. They trail by 1. Now banked it in. Kobe Eichelberger from the right wing on a bank job. He's got 6 of his team's first 7 points. 4-point lead here for Wheaton. Left open again. Got to do something there. We got a reach foul on a drive. Keenan Baltimore coming down the lane. Eichelberger picking up the foul, his first. Very aggressive defensive team, this Wheaton Thunder. They get after you. Do a pretty good job at that. Just looking at their splits on the season as far as defensive shooting percentages. They're right in the middle of the pack as Baltimore just below the free throw line, able to drop that jumper in. Brings the deficit to 2 here, 7-5. Peters up top with it, works it off to Eichelberger. Wants a 3 again over Perry. That one's no good. The rebound dribbled off the foot of Keenan Baltimore. It goes out of bounds to Wheaton underneath. Baltimore and Thomas both there for that rebound, and as Baltimore gathered in, it looked like it might have gone off Thomas's foot. So the Thunder will retain possession in the offensive end. Spencer takes the inbound pass up top to Peters. Peters around to Francis. There comes the triple, and there it goes. Right over Shazi, late by a half step, getting in front of Ashton Francis, who drops it in for his first points tonight. Thunder off and shooting here early on from long distance. They're now 3 for 4 from behind the arc. Baltimore in the paint. One-hand shot won't go. The tip by Cruz goes in. Cruz, the one-hand tip, got around Spencer that time to tip it in. Cuts the deficit to 3 once again. 10-7 Wheaton. Now inside it goes. Nice look and a nice finished low right by Ricky Samuelson. Samuelson, a teammate of Jordan Thomas at New Trier High School. He's on the board. 12-7 Thunder. Thomas tried to bank one in, missed, got his own rebound, goes back up with it, and we got a held ball. Possession arrow going to go to Wheaton Thunder as Thomas got held up on that jump shot going up. It was Spencer inside who may have gotten a hand on that one. Trevor Gunter will check in. Gunter is 6'6" junior out of Flint, Texas for the Thunder. They lead it by 5 here. 2.5 minutes in. Gunter now. Hands it back to Aston. Aston high on the right wing, guarded hard by Shazi. Got around Shazi. Dumps it inside to Gunter. Gunter walked with the basketball. Got that extra pass from Francis inside, and Perry stood his ground that time. And as he got that one in, turned it over on the travel, trying to set up on that right block. First turn by Wheaton tonight. They lead by 5. Baltimore inside to Perry. Perry backing down over Gunter. One-hand shot no good. Gunter got the rebound. Had it stripped out. Spencer picks it up. A little problem there between he and Peters, and they finally get it together. Peters across midcourt. Peters backing in the paint on Thomas. Swings off to Gunter on the wing. Drives low left. Reverses right and makes the basket. Drew the defense to the middle of the paint that time. That left the back door open. And the strong finish by Gunter, his first 2. They've doubled up on the Redmen, who turn it over as that pass goes through Cruz's hands and out of bounds, and a timeout taken by the Redmen. Carthage will take a 30-second timeout here. They trail 14-7, off to a 3 for 8 start shooting, while Wheaton off to a torrid pace, 5 for 6, including 3 triples. Again, a reminder that the Alumni Basketball Weekend is coming up rather quickly. Saturday, February 3rd here at the Tarble Arena. Lady Reds alumni will open the day at 2, followed by the Redmen at 3. And following the alumni games, the Lady Reds and Redmen will square off against Millikin University. Lady Reds at 5, Redmen at 7. For more information and registration, visit carthage.edu/alumni. Francis, Samuelson, Spencer, Peters, and Gunter out there for the Thunder as they bring it up. Peters with it. Works it off to Francis. A wave around. Shazi right on top of him. Trying to get past Shazi with a reach foul. Got him across the shoulder. Shazi picks up his second foul. Substitution here for the Thunder is Spencer Peterson will come in now, the 6'5" sophomore out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. His sister attended Carthage College. (14-7). Thunder will bring it in. Peters handling it. Swings it off. Up top. Frank over money. Good. Aston Francis 2 for 2. Both triples. He's got 6. Derek Mason, hand in his face. No defense. And it's a quick 10-point lead for Wheaton. Inside to Perry. Perry going up over Gunter. And hits. A little extra move that time, getting Gunter off his feet, trying to draw foul. No call, but Perry able to finish his first two. Deficit is 8. Samuelson up top to Francis. Gets around Derek Mason. Goes inside. Try to leave it for Gunter. It's loose. Gunter picks it up. Kicks it back out. Open on the wing is Samuelson. Drips the 3. Everybody collapsed inside going after that loose ball except Samuelson. He was smart. He stayed on the wing and got paid off. 5 points now for Samuelson. Now to 11 for the Thunder. Cruz now to Baltimore. 3 on the way. In and out. Rebound Aston Francis. Outlets Samuelson. Samuelson quickly inside to Peters. Lost control of the dribble. It's stolen away by Cruz. Then tipped away by Samuelson. And then it's taken by Perry. Gets it off to Thomas. They will set it up. 5 minutes in. The Redmen down 11. Thomas now swings it off right side to Cruz. Inside right block. It goes to Perry. Perry turning. Got around Gunther. Threw it up with the right hand. Kind of a tweener that time. Didn't use the glass, and it rolled off the rim. Rebound to Francis. Francis now dumps it up top. Spencer Peterson kicks it over to Gunter. 20-footer left side, no. That loose ball goes off of Peterson inside. It will be Carthage ball. Sean Johnson will check in now, replacing Brad Perry. Johnson, 6'10", out of Notre Dame College Prep in Chicago. Dan Malcara's father played for Bosco down at North Park. Thomas will bring it across court. Works off the Johnson screen. Dribbles to the right side to Baltimore. Left side. Baltimore going through. Had it stripped. What do we got? Turnover by Keenan Baltimore. He thought he was fouled. Officials weren't buying the call. It's a turnover for the Redmen. As their 4th turn of this first half. 20-9 in favor of Wheaton. 6 minutes in here at the Tarble Arena. A cold start here for the Redmen. 4 for 11. Wheaton clipping at a 7-for-9 pace. Eichelberger driving, going glass, charge. Setting up inside, taking that charge was Keenan Baltimore. Did a nice job as he took the charge on the drive by Eichelberger. Eichelberger picking up his 2nd foul. Team fouls even now at 2. And he will come out quickly. Spencer will check back in. Jay Spencer will check back in for Eichelberger, who sits down with 2 personal fouls. 20-9 Thunder. Thomas now gets it off to Baltimore. Back to Thomas on the right side. Puts it on the floor. Dribble drive. Jump stop in the paint. Walk got it back. Try to flip it through to Johnson. Ball was tipped out of there and picked up by Aston Francis. Yet another turnover for the Redmen. That's 5 here in this first half. Now Spencer Peterson for a triple. He hits off the right wing. This game getting away from the Redmen here early. 23-9 now in favor of the Thunder. As advertised, red hot Wheaton Thunder. 8 for 10 now from the field. 6 for 7 for the triple. Keenan Baltimore from the top of the circle, able to drop in a triple. He's got 8. It's 23-12. Baltimore the only answer here for the Rebels by Cruz. He'll race up the backcourt. He'll go in and was fouled hard by Luke Peters. Cruz will earn it from the free throw line. Got that steal at midcourt, then started to break away, and then Luke Peters chased him down, corralled him underneath the basket, and Cruz will shoot 2. So Brad Cruz at the line, drops in the first. Cruz 63% from the line, averaging 15 points per game. Playing close to 37 minutes a night, the senior. His father, Fred, also former player under Bosco Jurkovic down in North Park. And a free throw by Cruz, 1 for 2 that trip, the rebound to the Thunder. They will bring it up, leading by 10, 12:50 to go here in the first half. Nielsen works it inside, Aston Francis kicks it back out, Spencer Peterson wide open 3. That would be a 2. Scott Turney, the official over there, said those gunboats of feet there were across that arc. So just a 2. 25-13. Derek Mason throws one up, no good. Rebound, Jay Spencer. Now Now gets it down the floor to Samuelson. Samuelson to the trailer, not much there as Zach Quam couldn't corral it. Back out to Francis for the three. That's no good. Jordan Thomas able to corral the rebound. Thomas down the floor, looking underneath to Derek Mason. They turn it over. Looking for a spectacular play there. It would just been more simple just to hang on to the basketball, wait for traffic to clear and set something up. Goes as a turnover, the 6th of the ball game for the Redmen. Steve Lees check in, giving Keenan Baltimore a breather. Leeser, 6'4" senior out of Mount Prospect, Illinois. 25-13 Thunder. First 8 minutes have not gone the Redmen way. Not the kind of start they wanted to get off here at home. Francis with the basketball, got around Money. Kicks it back out to Peterson. Peterson driving in left side. Back up top, it goes to Samuelson. Samuelson spinning, trying to go over Cruz. Blocked by Cruz, he'll away. Cruz down the floor, behind the back dribble. Now goes up left side, draws the foul. Got Quam that time in the backcourt as the last man back, and he commits the foul. Nice block by Brad Cruz, and the takeaway at the free throw line. Able to take it back. That behind the back dribble, just enough to allow Quam to get defensively and commit the foul. 4th team foul on the Thunder. Cruz back at the line for the 2nd time tonight. He's missed his last 2 and came up short. As a team, Redmen shooting at 72% from the line. Missed them both, got the rebound. Cruz goes back up, draws another foul. The blocking foul inside. And go on Quam again. So Zach Quam picking up 2 quick fouls here. It'll get Luke Peters back into the ball game following free throw attempt by Cruz. That one in. That snaps 3 misses in a row there by Cruz as Peters checks in for Quam. More toss here for Brad Cruz. Cruz had 20 points back at Illinois Wesleyan in a win on the road to open up the conference season. Makes the 2nd free throw. Cuts it up to 10, 25-15, 11 and a half minutes to play. We got a foul on Derek Mason holding up Aston Francis. Keenan Baltimore will check back in for the Redmen. He'll come in for Brad Cruz. Spencer Peterson out for the Thunder. Checking back in is Trevor Gunter. Wheaton with the ball. Working it right to left here in this first half. Gets it off to Aston Francis. Dances his way around Derek Mason. Missed the shot. Weiser getting the rebound. Was tied up. And a held ball. As he grabbed that rebound, Luke Peters tied him up for the held ball. It'll be Redmen basketball in the backcourt. Aston Francis, a variety of moves. And right now, the Redmen are having a tough time defending him. Plus, he's drawing the defense. That's leaving a couple of their snipers open on the arc. Johnson, Thomas, Baltimore, Leeser, and Mason out there for the Redmen. Leeser with it now in the right corner. Cut off by Aston Francis. Gave up the dribble. Now gets it off to Jordan Thomas with 10 on the shot clock. Thomas circles all the way back up top with 6 to shoot. Works it left side. Now gets to Leeser. Leeser, a little stutter move. Now fires up the 3. That one's no good. Baltimore got the rebound. Goes back up low left. Missed the shot. The rebound pulled down by Gunter. Tough shot that time by Baltimore as he tried to lean in, looking to draw that foul on Gunter. Missed the shot, and Gunter was right there for the rebound. Inside, nice look, backdoor feed, and Jay Spencer able to finish low right. The 11th assist now tonight by the Wheaton Thunder. They are 10 for 15. They've had halves like that. Now Johnson backing in on Spencer low right. Now kicks it back out to Mason. Around to Leeser on the right side. Back out with 8 to shoot. Good defense here by Thunder. Very impressed with the way they get after the Redmen here. Now Thomas on the jump stop in the paint and able to hit with a one-hander. Little teardrop as the shot clock was going down. Thomas, his first 2 points tonight. 27-17 Thunder. Nice spin move in the paint, but a rejection by Johnson off to Keenan Baltimore. Luke Peters trying to spin his way in the paint that time, and Johnson said no, sir. And Johnson going up, fouled hard by Jay Spencer, low left. And it will be Sean Johnson on the free throw line. Spencer picking up his first, 6th team foul, and Sean Johnson at the free throw line. Johnson out of Notre Dame Prep in Chicago. Makes the first free throw. Dad, quite a post player in his day. Dad won a championship with the North Park Vikings. Dan Milcairn. Johnson's second free throw on the way. That one's off the back iron, and the rebound to Luke Peters. 27-18, 9.5 minutes to go here in this first half. Spencer Peterson back in there now for the Thunder. Gunter with it high on the right. Dumps it down low right. Samuelson back up top. Peters. Luke Peters backing down on Weiser. Got around Weiser, goes up with the left hand and lays it in. Weiser off his feet, just leaned in around him. Puts the lead back out to 11, 29-18. And we got a foul in the post as Keenan Baltimore bumped from behind by Spencer Peterson. That's the 7th team foul, so bonus free throws now, 1 and 1 for Keenan Baltimore. That might be the way to test this Wheaton team if you can get them in a little bit of foul trouble here and test some of this depth. As Baltimore knocks down the free throw. Keenan with 9 first half points. Just his 3rd game back. Had surgery on that right thumb, repair a tendon. Missed the second, the rebound pulled in by Gunter. 29-19, Redmond chasing 10 here. Spencer Peterson up top, high right. Gets it off to Luke Peters. Peters working on Weiser again. Gave up the dribble, now gets it back out to Quam, or Zach Holman, I should say. Holman, we had a foul inside. It's going to be on Spencer Peterson again. Collided with Baltimore inside, and Peterson picks up the foul. It's going to be Redmond ball here. Kamal Chassis back in there now, along with Derek Mason. So Chassis, Mason, Johnson, Baltimore, and Weiser. This lineup here for the Redmond. Mason nearly turned it over, gets it back out to Baltimore. Baltimore off the Chassis right side, dribbles in, working on Peters. Now kicks it back up top to Johnson, around to Weiser on the left side with 10 to shoot. Gets a screen from Johnson, works it back to Baltimore. Baltimore now driving, top of the circle, pulls up in the paint, and hits the running one-hander. Keenan Baltimore with 11 first half points brings his team back to within 8, 29-21, 8:05 to go here in this first half. Gunter around the right side to Luke Peters. Gets it to Aston Francis, worked his way around, got it back to Gunter, rejected by Weiser, picked up inside by Johnson. Second block of the game for the Redmen. Now Shazi going up, lost it, and it was tipped out of bounds. Shazi took a spill. Back up and okay. Good defense there by the Wheaton Thunder. Sean Johnson comes back out. Brad Perry in for the Redmen. They trail by 8, 7:40 to play here in the first half. First meeting of the year for these two teams. They'll meet again on Valentine's Day down in Wheaton. Weiser now off to Shazi, top of the circle. Lost the dribble. Loose on the floor. Spencer picks it up. Flips it off to Peters. Peters lost control of the dribble. Gets it back to Spencer, who is sitting on the center line. That'll be an over and back violation on the Thunder. Helter skelter at midcourt. And ball loose. Spencer trying to come up with it. Then dished it off to Peters. He lost control of the dribble coming across the center line. Flipped it back to Spencer, who was sitting down straddling the line, and that was the turnover. 6th turnover for the Thunder. Perry now, low right, working on Gunther. Backed him down, missed the shot. Picked up by Baltimore on the rebound, then Baltimore hacked by Quam. Quam picking up his third. 9th team foul now on the Thunder. Mike Schauer pleading his case with Brian Fitzgerald. Hey, 6 foul advantage here. Every coach does that, we know that. Baltimore hits the free throw. Some more vociferous than others. Might even lead to a coat being tossed into the first or second row by some coaches, who shall remain nameless. Second free throw by Keenan Baltimore is good. Redmond back to within 6. They've trailed by as many as 14 here in the first half. 29-23 Wheaton, 7 minutes to go. Gunter on the left block, threw it back up top, looking for Spencer, turns it over as Spencer cut inside. The ball goes out of bounds at midcourt to the Redmen. 7 turnovers now by the Thunder. Cade Alioth, a freshman out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, 6'5", in now, making his 14th appearance. He's averaging about 8 minutes per game. Thomas now up top with it for the Redmen. Carthage has battled its way back here. Perry now, low left. Going hard to the basket, missed the shot, did not hit the rim. Cruz picks it up, 12 to shoot. Cruz in the left corner. Takes a dribble to the left wing. Now up top to Thomas with 7 on the shot clock. Thomas working off the Baltimore screen, dumps it back to Baltimore. Baltimore running one-hander at the free throw line, hit it as the shot clock going down. Keenan Baltimore bailing his team out. Back the other way, his shot is rejected inside by Cruz and picked up by Shazi on the drive that time by Samuelson. Back the other way, Baltimore. Shot blocked off the rim. We got a goaltending call on the Thunder. Baltimore lit off the glass and it got pinned. We're going to watch the replay here as Baltimore getting back, driving hard, and it was Aston Francis who slapped it off the backboard for the goaltending call. The Redmen 2 within 2. Francis with it now. High on the right side, guarded by Shazi. Got around Shazi on the dribble. Penetrates, skip pass to Samuelson, open 3, in and out. Tipped up and in on the follow-up that time. Cade Elliott on the tip in that time, able to sneak in, get the rebound, and tip it home. 31-27. Now Baltimore, top of the circle, looking inside to Perry, who was bumped off his spot and fouled by Cade Elliott. Mike Schauer pleading his case. You could hear him. He says not happy at all with the way things. Free throw by Perry is short. And Perry struggling here tonight. 1 for 7. All those shots coming right within 5 to 10 feet of the basket. Makes the free throw. 1 for 2 that trip. 3-point ball game. Redmond trail, 5.5 minutes to play first half. Jay Spencer with it now, working on Weiser. Back up top it'll go to Alioth. Now Luke Peters with the dribble, cut off at the free throw line. Nice Thomas to Spencer, back to Aston Francis. Francis working the crossover dribble. Weiser on him, tapped it away, forced the turnover. Steve Weiser, a fantastic job defending Aston Francis on that play, forced him into a turnover. Got right into his jersey, was not fooled by the dribble, the cover dribble, had it poked away, went off the left elbow of Francis and out of bounds at the Redmond bench. 8 turnovers now committed by the Thunder. Chance to cut it to 1 or tie it here as the Redmond trail by 3. Derek Mason on the penetration, floats up with the right hand, couldn't hit. Jay Spencer clears out the board, gives it off to Francis. Francis down quickly, gets it to Samuelson. Samuelson now back to Francis, middle of the floor. Works the dribble on Mason. Kick to Samuelson on the wing. Cruz is right there to cut him off. Down to Jay Spencer, open 3 over Perry. That one's no good. Weiser did a good job boxing out. Loose ball picked up by Derek Mason. And then he throws it away as Thomas cut to the basket. Had his back to Mason, didn't see the pass coming. And is the 8th turnover committed by the Redmen. 31-28. Wheaton cooling off it now, 12 for 22. 6 for 11 at the arc as they get it inside. Samuelson able to finish low left. Able to recover as he was parked underneath the basket. Cruz came flashing by, couldn't defend him off, and opened up a little space for Samuelson to find some room and lay it in. Now Perry in the post, good shot at the basket. Nice finish at the rim by Brad Perry over Spencer. 5 points for Perry. It's a 3-point game once again. 30-30, under 4 minutes to play. Francis for the triple. That's no good. Perry able to get the rebound for the Redmen. Carthage a 17-12 advantage on glass here through the first half. Now Cruz, little head shoulder fake, and then a shot rejected inside by Spencer. Got himself around Ricky Samuelson. That now the 3 on the way by Samuelson. Good. Weiser late getting out in front. Ricky Samuelson now 2 for 3 from behind the arc. 5 for 8 on the night. He's got 12. 36-30 Wheaton. Weiser gets it off to Mason. Now to Thomas. Thomas backs the ball off to the center circle. Guarded by Peters. Now Thomas penetrates, throws it hard off the glass, too strong. Francis for the rebound. Francis gets around Mason, gonna lay it all the way up. Couldn't finish, but drew the foul with the finger roll curling around the rim. Mason having all kinds of trouble keeping Aston Francis in front of him that time. Second foul on Mason, 4th on the Redmen as a team, and Aston Francis at the free throw line where he's an 84% shooter. 85 out of 101 on the season now for Francis as he drops the first one in. Keenan Ball in for Steve Weiser. Gunter in, replacing Cade Alioth. Second free throw by Francis is good. 2 for 2 that trip. Francis now with 8 points. 38-30, Wheaton, 2:55 to play here in the half. Mason, high on the right. We got a 5-second count on Mason as he couldn't get that pass away. Good double team that time between Francis and Gunter, tying him up. Perry couldn't get in there to set that screen. That's what Thomas was waiting for, a little ball screen action there to try and free him up, free a lane up, and Perry was late getting in. Their first tonight for Mike Kennedy. Kennedy, a 5'9 junior out of Lake in the Hills, Illinois, for the Redmen. Francis reverse layup with the left hand is good. Moving right to left under the basket. A left finish that time for Francis. He now has 10. 40-30 Thunder. Redmen could get no closer than 3 here in this first half. Perry backing on the right block, missed the shot, went over the back of Gunter to get the rebound. So Perry picking up the foul here first. 15 foul on the Redmen. And Wheaton will bring it up. And just like that, Redmen were within 3. They now trail by 10. Wheaton looking to tack on some more. Francis, deep 3, got it. 40-footer that time. Right where the hash mark is in front of the coach's box where it says Tarble Arena on the floor. That's where that shot dropped in. 13 now for Francis. Hit the last 7 here for the Thunder. Baltimore. One-hander inside, curls around, and falls in for Baltimore. What a half for Keenan Baltimore. 19 of his team's 32 points here in this first half. 43-32, minute 35 to play. Redmen have to shore some things up defensively. We got to travel on Gunter. Back in on Perry and lost control of the dribble and turned it over. 9 turnovers each. As Carthage will bring it up. Minute 25 to go. Kennedy with the slow walk with the dribble. Gives it off to Mason. Mason now gets a ball screen from Baltimore. Now gets back to Baltimore. Baltimore for the triple. On the way, no good. Aston Francis with the rebound. He will get Luke Peters will walk it across. So we approach 1 minute to go here in this first half. Wheaton has led the entire half as they get it inside. Shot taken by Samuelson, around and down. Little floater off the free throw line that time for Samuelson. He's got 14. Lead out to 13 now, 45-32 with 44 seconds to play in the half. Cruz inside to Perry. Perry now turning, shooting, hitting. Brad Perry has had a rough night. 3 for 10 now, has 7 points. Exact time on the shot clock and game clock, so Aston Francis, slow it down here, just the rhythmic dribble just across the midcourt. 10 seconds to go in the half. It's a ball screen from dribbles right side, back up top. Get it to Jay Spencer. He'll fire up the three. That one is no good. Rebound Cruz. He'll sit on it, and that will end this first half. Redmond with some work to do. They've got to get better defensively. They were sloppy tonight so far through the first 20 minutes. Wheaton shooting 59%, leading it here 45-34 at the break. Pause, 15-minute break. When we come back, we'll run the numbers for you right after this on AM 1050 WLIP. Is Redmond basketball on AM 1050 WLIP and WLIP.com, brought to you in part by Anastos Motors, Kenosha's premier pre-owned dealership on Bay Road and 45th Street in Kenosha. By Triangle Flooring, Furniture, and Appliance Center. They're located on Highway 50 and 39th Avenue in Kenosha. Lou Perini's Gas and Groceries, offering home delivery and special cash prices on gas. They're on Sheridan Road, 1 block north of 52nd Street. By Luigi's Pizzeria, dine-in, takeout, and delivery, 39th Avenue just south of Highway 50. By Lynch Chevrolet of Kenosha, east of I-94 on Highway 50. Nobody else for less than Lynch. S.J. Crystal's Menswear, corner of 57th Street and 6th Avenue in downtown Kenosha. By Mason's Syrian Pub on Highway 50 just west of Green Bay Road. Don't be a chain eater, eat at Mason's. Dave's American Discount Muffler, honest and dependable service on Jordan Road in Kenosha. By Something Different, a sports fans' fantasy land on 6th Avenue in downtown Kenosha. By Wingstop, they are the wing experts. By Coliseums, Ruffalo's 2 Pizzeria and Family Restaurant. And by Kenosha Nissan. The Redmen trail 11 here at the half, 45-34. They had gotten behind rather quickly tonight. They were down by as many as 14 early on back-to-back pointers by Ricky Samuelson and Spencer Peterson. That made it 23-9. Redmen chasing 14 at that point. They were able to come all the way back on a 9-0 run and cut the deficit to 2 on a Keenan Baltimore layup. Matter of fact, it was all Keenan in that sequence. He scored 8 of the 9 points in that sequence. A free throw, a jump shot, a pair of free throws, and a pair of layups. The difference there is he cut it to 2, 29-27. That coming with just under 6 minutes left in the half. But then the Thunder sprinted back out. They went on a 10-0 run and opened up a 9-0 run, I should say, and they opened up a 40-30 advantage. Aston Francis involved in that, a pair of free throws and a layup, part of that swing late in that first half with under 3 minutes left. Carthage would get no closer than 7 the rest of the way out, and that's all she wrote, trailing by 11 here, 45-34. The numbers for the Redmen in that first half, they shoot 40%, 12 of 30 from the floor. Just 2 of 5 from three-point range and 8 of 14 at the line. Meanwhile, Wheaton, at one point, well over 60% shooting in that first half, settled down to 58%, 17 of 29. At one point, they were 6 for 7 shooting the three ball. They finished 8 of 50, and they were 3 of 4 at the free throw line. Individually, so far in this game, for the Carthage Redmen, Keenan Baltimore with 19 first half points. In just his third game back following thumb surgery on that right thumb tendon, he was 7 of 11 from the floor, a pair of three-pointers for 19 points in that first half. Brad Perry was 7. It was a rough half for Perry. Wasn't so much that he wasn't getting looks. He had the looks, just wasn't finishing at the rim. He was 3 for 10, but finished with 7 points in that first half. Brad Cruz with 5, 1-2 from the field, 3 for 6 at the line. 2 points for Jordan Thomas, and 1 point for Sean Johnson. Kamal Shasi, Derek Mason, Mike Kennedy, and Steve Weiser all played and did not score for the Redmen, who shoot 40%, 12 of 30. For the Wheaton Thunder, 2 players in double figures, and the 2 you figured who would be. Ricky Samuelson with 14 points. Samuelson 6 of 9 from the field, including a pair of triples. He leads his team in scoring with 14. Aston Francis started to heat it up late. Francis finished the half with 13 points, 4 of 7, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, including an incredible shot at the hash in front of the Carthage bench, right where the words Tarble Arena are written in front of that coach's box. He knocked one down from there tonight. He finished the half with 13. 5 points for Spencer Peterson, 6 for Kobe Eichelberger, 3 for Luke Peters, 2 for Cade Alioth, and 2 for Trevor Gunter. Zach Holman and Zach Quam did not score at Jay Spencer. Spencer missed firing on 2 3-pointers in this first half. Rebounding, Redmen out-rebound the Thunder 18-6, including getting 8 on the offensive end. Leading rebounder for the Redmen was Brad Cruz with 5, 3 on the offensive side. 16 boards in that first half for the Thunder, only 2 offensive rebounds. They were led by Aston Francis, 4 boards in that first half. Each team with 9 turnovers, Wheaton getting 11 points off of the Redmen 9 turns. Meanwhile, the Carthage Redmen with 7 points off of the 9 Thunder turns. Redmen with 4 blocks and 2 steals, a pair of blocks by Brad Cruz, 1 each by Weiser and Johnson in that first half. Jay Spencer with a block and 2 steals. Cruz also with a pair of steals for the Redmen. Wheaton led from wire to wire in the first 20 minutes. They lead it here 45-34 at the end of the first half. We'll pause another 60 break. When we come back, we'll take a trip through the CCIW, get you caught up on scores when we return to the Tarble Arena after this on AM 1050 WLIP. John Weiser back with you at the Tarble Arena. Redmond trail 45-34 after one half of play. Lady Reds in action tonight. They're down at North Park, and we've got a live look in here. They lead at the half 39-31. That game at the half in that contest. It was 7 points there for the Lady Reds in that first half. Other scores in the CCIW. Augustana leading Elmhurst, 8th-ranked Augustana, falling to number 8 after a couple of losses last week as they fall to 8th in the D3Hoops.com poll. They lead Elmhurst 54-41 after one half of play. The Vikings shot 70% in the first half against Elmhurst, 17 of 24, 9 for 12 at the arc. They were led by Ebel with 12, 10 points for Benning, 9 for Sortillo. Elmhurst not too shabby. They shot 57% from the field, but find themselves down 54-41 at the half. Illinois Wesleyan is hosting Millikin. That game was delayed because of a net problem. They had to replace a net on one of the baskets. So that game has 10 minutes to go in the first half, tied at 20 down in Bloomington. And the other matchup in Waukesha tonight, it's the Carroll Pioneers leading the Vikings from Chicago and North Park 31-26. Redmond will be back in action Saturday. It will be a doubleheader down in Decatur as the Lady Reds and Redmond will take on Millikin and the Big Blue. Our broadcast on Saturday will begin at 4:45 and a 5 o'clock tip for the Lady Reds. Redmond will tip at 7 o'clock. Then the Redmen will have the week off. They will return to action on January 27th down in Rock Island to take on Augustana. Meanwhile, the Lady Reds will be in action as they will host, they will be playing here at home against North Central. That'll be on Wednesday next week. It'll be the Lady Reds and North Central as the second round of conference play begins in the double round robin here in the CCIW. Redmond and Lady Reds will wrap up the first half of the conference Saturday down at Decatur. The schedule flips here for the Redmen as they will play 2 of their next 7 games on the at home, I should say. So they will spend a good portion of the second half on the road. They'll be at Millikin on the 20th, at Augustana on the 27th, home against North Central on January 31st, Millikin here on Saturday, February 3rd, and then it's 3 straight on the road for the Redmen, at Carroll, at Elmhurst, at Wheaton, before closing out the home season against Illinois Wesleyan on February 17th. Also want to remind our listeners that the NCAA Men's Volleyball Championships will be hosted here at Carthage College this season, as the Men's Volleyball Championship will take place right here at the Tarble Arena on April 27th and 28th. So mark your calendars to come out and be part of the action. Cheer on the Redmen as they hope to defend their home court in the NCAA Division III Men's Volleyball Championship, April 27th and 28th here in Kenosha. For more information leading up to that NCAA Championship, visit ncaa.com, or for more information, you'll find it at gocarthage.com. Both teams up, warming up, getting set for our second half. Redmond with some work to do. A couple of things. They've got to protect the basketball. They turned it over 9 times in that first half. Again, a team coming in just a scooch under 13 per game. So they've got to do a better job protecting the basketball, and they've got to play some defense here. They allowed Wheaton to pretty much have open looks, particularly on the arc here, 8 for 15. The Wheaton team averages about 10 made three-pointers per game, so they're right around their average, but they're hitting at an 8 for 15 clip so far. So Redmond have to tighten up the defense here going into this second half and do a little bit better job that way as trying to extend their winning streak out to 3, wrapping up this 3-game homestand. Thomas, Shazi, Baltimore, Cruz, and Perry for the Redmen. Francis, Eichelberger, Samuelson, Spencer, and Peters for the Wheaton Thunder. Thunder had their 3-game conference winning streak snapped in Naperville on Saturday in a loss to North Central. North Central winning last night at home over Finlandia in a non-conference tilt. They were to have the bye this week. Wheaton will start this second half with the basketball, working left to right. First meeting of the year between these two schools. And the rematch will be Wednesday, February 14th at Wheaton. Francis will take it across midcourt and stripped out by Shazi. Shazi with the steal. To Baltimore on the trail, will lay it up low right and finish. 21 on the night for Keenan Baltimore. Shazi able to convert the turnover. Nice job. Start this second half. Let's see if that'll be the spark here for the Redmen defensively. Open 3 out of the left corner. Good. Kobe Eichelberger. Stand still 3 from the left corner. Redmen have to get out and defend. I think they're so wrapped up in trying to prevent Francis and Samuelson from scoring, they've forgotten the other guys here. As Thomas's shot rejected inside, ball loose inside. We got a foul on Brad Cruz, taking down Kobe Eichelberger. Eichelberger getting to that loose ball and then fell over Cruz, who was on the floor going after it. Cruz picking up the foul, his first. First of the second half on the Redmen. Samuelson with it, high on the left, up top to Eichelberger. Around to Spencer. Spencer on the left wing, fires a 3. That one's an air ball miss. That is not his shot. A lot of them, talking to a couple of Wheaton fans, they'd like to see him put that 3-point back in his pocket and work closer to the basket. As the inside pass from Thomas to Cruz, able to finish low right. Brad Cruz now with 7 points. 48-38 Thunder, just underway second half. Spencer again up high, raising up as if he's going to attempt another 3-pointer. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Now Francis head down, driving to the basket, lost control of it. Baltimore comes away with it. Keenan Baltimore down the floor. Baltimore flips it off the glass. No, ball loose inside, taken by Jay Spencer. Spencer handling the basketball in the backcourt, gets it up quickly. Eichelberger out of the corner, back up top, it'll go to Peters. Luke Peters with it. Bounce feed to Eichelberger, driving on Baltimore, pulls up on Baltimore, missing. Rebound goes through Spencer, picked up by Cruz, outlets to Thomas. Thomas across midcourt. Gives it off to Chassis. Across the left side now to Cruz. Bounce feed up top to Baltimore. Lob pass into the post to Perry. Able to finish. Got around both Spencer and Francis that time. Perry able to finish at the basket. 9 points now for Brad Perry. Cuts the deficit to 8. Peters on the drive. Goes past Baltimore, overlaid, and it's taken away by Shazi underneath. Bounce feed to Thomas. Thomas, 3 over Spencer, got it. Jordan Thomas, step back 3 off the left wing over Jay Spencer, and a timeout, Wheaton Thunder. 48-43, Redmen back to within 5. Timeout taken by Wheaton here with 17:15 to play. Mike Schauer not happy at all with the officiating. He's working over the official on the far side right now. That would be Rob Kruger. As they take the timeout. Each team with 5 timeouts remaining. Good start here for the Redmen. It all started with the steal by Chassis and the basket by Baltimore to start this second half. Redmen with a little punch in their step here after a somewhat sluggish first half on the offensive end and a rather lackluster defensive effort in that first half. Thomas, Chassis, Perry, Cruz, and Baltimore for the Redmen. Out of the huddle for the Thunder, Francis, Eichelberger, Samuelson, Spencer, and Peters. Redmen have cut the deficit to 5 here early in this second half. They have never led. Francis now driving in right side. The reach foul by Chassis picks up foul number 3. Bad foul there. Francis got around Chassis, and Chassis unable to move the feet, just reached around and Easy foul call there. That's 3 now on Chassis. Spencer for the 3 attempt again. He's 0 for 4. If you're the Redmen, just let him shoot that all night. Thomas now to Perry. Around to Chassis. Gets it back up top. Baltimore for a 3. That one is short. Rebound pulled in by Peters. Tough shot there. Peters now hands it off to Francis. Francis, Chassis in front of him. Now poke and a foul by Chassis. Picks up foul number 4 as he reached in. Brian Fitzgerald on the call. That's 4 on Chassis. He will exit as Derek Mason will check in. Derek Mason in for the Redmen. Also Trevor Gunter in for the Thunder. Francis for the triple. Fade away out of the corner over Mason is good. Frank with 15. 51-43 Wheaton. Mason now gets it back to Baltimore. He'll hike again. That one's good. Over Eichelberger that time. Keenan, Baltimore, 24 tonight. Just his 3rd game back following right thumb surgery. Had that done in November. Now Eichelberger lost Baltimore, driving. Extra pass, tried to dish it up, and it's tipped away. And then Cruz gets it down the floor to Thomas, but unable to contain it as Thomas turning it over. Spencer Peterson in now replacing Eichelberger for the Thunder. Eichelberger and Gunter could not connect. Eichelberger should have just finished right at the bat. Instead, he wanted to pass it off. Gunter wasn't quite ready for it. It led to the turnover. Near breakaway the other way. Francis now. Double team by Perry, and Thomas now gets it inside. Shot rejected by Baltimore. Back up top. Francis will fire. 3 on the way. No. Rebound Perry. Perry will clear it out to Thomas. Thomas across midcourt. Hands to Mason. To Perry, middle of the floor. Now back to Thomas. Look to Cruz. Now kicks it back to Baltimore on the drive. Lost control. Goes over Spencer Peterson with a soft right hand from the right block. 26 points tonight for Keenan, Baltimore. Pulls his team to within 3. Special K doing his thing and now fouling Ricky Samuelson. First on Keenan, 4th team foul. Baltimore's going to come out for a breather as Steve Weiser will check into the game for the Redmen. 26 points tonight for Keenan, Baltimore. 10 for 16. Francis now off the inbound feed, guarded by Mason. Drives left side, body foul on Mason. Mason too much body. That's the 3rd on Mason now. 15th foul on the Redmen. They get it Gunther to the free throw line. Now hands it back behind the arc to Peters. Peters driving on Thomas. Cut off there by Thomas. Back up top, Francis. Around Mason. Step back at the free throw line is good. That quick jab step lost Mason as he tried to recover defensively. And Aston Francis able to drop that one in. 18 tonight for Francis. Weiser now. Inside to Perry. Perry was fouled. Foul's going to go on Spencer Peterson. Palms dented, pleading his case, but that'll be his 3rd. Rough night for the guys in stripes. You're getting it from both coaches tonight. Thomas now. Triggers the inbound right of the basket to Mason. 20-footer on the way, no. Aston Francis rebound. They got a 3-on-2. Francis gives it back to the trailer. Samuelson for the 3. Book it. Good pair of eyes that time by Francis. Somehow knew Samuelson was back there, and he drains the triple. 17 now for Samuelson. This is what you were afraid of. You didn't want both to go off, and they have. Weiser with a must-make 3, able to drop it in, top of the circle. First points tonight for Steve Weiser. Deficit is 5. We've played 6 minutes here in the second half. 56-51, Wheaton. Peters, hounded by Thomas, gives it to Francis. Francis to his left on Mason. Pulls up on Mason and hits. Timeout, Thunder. Derek Mason being schooled tonight by Aston Francis. That's 20 now for Francis. Derek Mason shouldn't feel bad. There's 8 other teams in this league that have been schooled by Aston Francis. Timeout taken here by the Thunder. The 32nd timeout. And the Lady Reds leading at North Park late in the third quarter, 57-44. Carroll by 1 over North Park in the men's game up at Waukesha. Augie, a 58-49 lead over Elmhurst. And Illinois Wesleyan trailing now late in the first half by 6 to Milliken, 32-26. And that game got a start because of a net replacement just before the tip. Cruz now handles the basketball for the Redmen, gives it off to Thomas. Thomas guarded by Peters, drifts to his right, hands it off to Perry, back up top to Leiser, left side it goes Cruz. Out of the left corner driving, Cruz goes off the glass, too strong. Rebound Aston Francis. Francis breaks it out on the dribble. Down the left side to Eichelberger. Eichelberger pulls up to Francis. Francis step back 3 over Mason. No good. Rebound rolled in by Perry, and Perry was fouled by Gunter. Trevor Gunter, the arm of Brad Perry. Second team foul on the Thunder. First on Gunter. 13:10 to play. Redmond trail 58-1. Carthage 7 for 11 in this second half. 3 for 4 from behind the arc. Thomas now on the left side, back to Leiser. Touch pass inside Perry, backing down on the left block. Kicks it back out to Mason. Mason pull-up jumper over Aston Francis. Air ball. Leiser trying to keep it alive, but tips it out to Luke Peters, who takes it back for Wheaton. Gives it back to Aston Francis. Francis now. Eichelberger couldn't get past Leiser. Out to Peters on the right arc, driving in, dumps it down low. Gunther reverse layup, good from the right side. Gunter able to pick up his 4th point on a nice feed. Didn't look pretty, but a good finish at the end. Now we got Perry tangled up inside, got bumped from behind by Gunter, who picks up his 2nd foul. 3rd team foul on the Thunder. Keenan Baltimore back in for the Redmen. He will replace Brad Cruz. Baltimore 26 tonight to lead the way for the Redmen. But Francis with 20, Samuelson with 17. Leading the way for the Thunder. Carthage has trailed the entire. Leiser now off to Mason. Pull up 15-footer. Banks it? No. Rebound pulled down by Gunter. Gives it off to Peters. Chance to pull the lead back to double digits here. Wham inside, gives it off to Gunter, over Perry, rattles around and down. Perry tried to go for the block that time and still got enough arc above Perry to find the rim and dance its way through. 62-51 Wheaton. Mason got around Aston Francis, left it for Perry. Perry, tough angle from the right block, couldn't hit. The rebound pulled in by Gunter. Good defense by Gunter that time to deny Perry. Now on the drive, Peters, just a dribble drive, nobody ready. Able to slice through 3 different defenders for the layup left side. Timeout, Carthage. 11:22 to go here in this ball game. Carthage down 13. It's Wheaton 64, Carthage 51. We will keep it here. Another 30-second timeout. Our game tonight brought to you in part by Anastos Motors. Get a 2-year maintenance program with any car you buy. By Armored Seal Coating for patching, crack filling, striping, or complete seal coating. ArmoredSealCoating.com. By Triangle Flooring Furniture and Appliance Center on Highway 50 and 39th Avenue, Kenosha. And by Mason's Eatery and Pub. They're located on Highway 50 just west of Green Bay Road. Don't be a chain eater, eat at Mason's. Thunder 8 for 14, 3-6 behind the arc here in this second half. Redmond now 7 of 14, 3 of 4 from behind the arc here in the second half. Thomas, Baltimore, Mason, Leiser, and Johnson out there for the Redmond now. Sean Johnson, the freshman. Ball tacking down the left block, turning, spinning, going left, crawls off the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Eichelberger. Took that one away from his teammate Gunter that time. Down quickly with it is Quam. Tried to get it back inside, broken up by Sean Johnson. Couldn't gather it in, but it goes out of bounds. Wheaton ball. Good job by Johnson that time to get that steal, but just couldn't gather it in. Jay Spencer back in now for the Thunder. Reset the shot clock at 21 here. That was the delay as they get it into Aston Francis. And Francis turns it over. It's been a problem tonight, too, for the Thunder. They've turned it over 12 times tonight, right about their season average. As Kamal Shasi will come back in. Shasi with 4 personal fouls tonight, trying to guard Aston Francis. Shasi around the Johnson ball screen. Drifts to the right side with the dribble. Now to Thomas. Thomas using the Shasi screen. Flips one up and hits. Penetrates below the free throw line that time. The running one-hander for Thomas goes. 7 points for Thomas. 64-53. Altus working on Thomas. Got around Thomas. Penetrates. Kicked it out to the left corner for the 3. And knocking it down was Samuelson again. Samuelson now 5 for 6. 20 points. Check that, 4 for 5 now off the arc. Shasi jumper from the top of the circle, good, just inside the 3-point arc. First 2 points tonight for Kamal Shasi. 67-55. Redmond down 12 here with 9:50 to play. Deep 3 by Francis is short. Again, that was out near the hash mark on the far side floor. Now Samuelson driving in right side. Got around Shasi, had to let him go. Got all the way to the rim and scores. Defense not there tonight for the Redmen. They have had their problems. 9.5 minutes to go, down 14. Thomas, deep 3. That one's no good. Johnson with a tip out to Baltimore. Tips it over to Weiser. He'll fire the 3. In and out. Halfway down and it rolled back out. The rebound to Aston Francis. Francis blows past Thomas. Goes to the basket with the left hand. Couldn't finish. It's kept alive by Gunter underneath. Foul. Good effort by Gunter underneath that time to keep that alive on the offensive glass for the Thunder. He's able to draw the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line 2. Credit Francis, though. He got the penetration. Somehow driving in right side. Couldn't finish, but Gunter was right there. Gunter able to drop it in. Weiser picking up the foul, his first. Francis will get a breather here. His team up 15 with 9:05 to play. Second one on the way is good. Gunter will come out now as Spencer Peterson will back in. Peterson with 3 fouls. 71-55. Carthage down 16. Shasi inside to Baltimore. Low left. Back up top to Shasi for the 3. That one is no good. Shasi knocked down to the floor by Quam. No call. Rebound cleared out of there by Peters. Gets it off to Samuelson. Return to Peters. Back to Samuelson for 3. Got it. That is money in the bank every time when he's off the dribble. Samuelson, 25 tonight for the Thunder. 74-55. Thomas 3 answers. Jordan Thomas off the left elbow for the triple. Answers the Samuelson 3. 74-58, 8:20 play. Quam now. Feeds Peterson, backing in on Johnson, left block. Turning. Johnson really forced the turnover. That went off his right hip out of bounds. He tried to strip the ball that time from Spencer Peterson. Brad Cruz will come back now, replacing Sean Johnson. So get it in. Samuelson quickly puts it up. In and out, no good. Ball tipped through Spence, picked up by Cruz. Shazi across midcourt. Gives it off Weiser. Weiser now back to Thomas. Thomas on the drive, low left. Reverse with the right hand. It's good. Jordan Thomas putting on a show. Drive left, flipped it up with the right hand, low right. 12 tonight for Jordan Thomas. Aston Francis for three. This time it's no good. It goes out of bounds to the Redmen. Francis now 4 for 10 behind the arc, 7 of 14 on the night. Well, if he's going to get to his season average, he's going to have to at least get 20 hoists tonight. Thomas out near the center ring, gives it off to Baltimore. Cruz now to Shazi driving in left side. Shazi off the glass around Spencer and lays it in. Nearly turned it over, and he did. Spencer did. Back to Thomas. Thomas shot no. Shazi with a rebound, rejected by Spencer, picked up by Peters, and what do we have? Got a foul. Where are we going with it? The foul on who? It's going to go on Keenan Baltimore. So Baltimore got Spencer, said Brian Fitzgerald. It's the 7th team foul, so now Wheaton at the line in the bonus. Peters on the front end missing. He has had his problems at the free throw line this year. 40% shooter at the line, missing the front end of the bonus. Weiser now with it for the Redmen. Under 7 minutes to play, Carthage down 12. Let's see, Redmen have one more run in them. They've had a couple here tonight. They just haven't been able to get over the hump. Cruz with the penetration, couldn't finish. Driving in from the right side, but drew the foul. Samuelson on the foul. That's his first, 4th team foul, and Cruz on the free throw line for a pair. Brad Cruz tonight, 3 for 6 at the line, 7 points. Free throw up and in. One more toss here for Cruz, the senior. And that one is good. Deficit 10, 6:44 to play. Thomas trying to foul, and he will. He'll foul. Going to just hack a shack here. Make Peters try and make a free throw tonight. Peters just 1 for 3 at the line. We talked about his troubles earlier. Peters this season just 41% from the line. Drops that one in. 6 points tonight for Peters. Second free throw. That one is well short. Ball kept alive. Flag by Eichelberger in the corner. Knocked over Baltimore for an offensive foul. Got the forearm into Baltimore. Maybe a little more embellishment on the part of Baltimore, but he did get the arm into him. The old chicken wing into Baltimore as he was defending him. As he turned to put the ball on the floor, he hooked him with the left hand. Offensive foul on Eichelberger, his third. 75-64. Redmond down 11. Baltimore coming up the right side, and again was fouled by Spencer on his way up, and so Baltimore at the line shooting 2. Spencer picking up his second. That is the 6th team foul on the Thunder. And Keenan Baltimore at the line. Baltimore with 26 tonight. Just his 3rd game back. Knocks down the front end. 27 for the sophomore to Zion Benton. 10 for 17 from the field. 3 for 6 behind the arc, and 4 of 5 now at the free throw line. That one's too long, and the rebound brought down by Eichelberger. 10-point lead, 6:20 to go for the Thunder. Looking to pick up their 6th win, and for the moment have the most wins in conference, as Aston Francis on the penetration low right, able to finish 22 for Francis now. Ball now. Getting around Eichelberger, bumped, got it up, no call, missed the shot, rebound tipped through Cruz, picked up by Weiser, back out to Shazi up top, around to Cruz, inside to Weiser on the left block, back out to Cruz once again. Shazi now will reload. To Weiser, left three. That one is short, battle for the rebound, Eichelberger and Baltimore tumble, no call. Samuelson alone left corner three, back iron miss, rebound Thomas over the back is Eichelberger. He picks up his fourth. That is the seventh foul on the Thunder, so now the Redmen in bonus with 5:26, so both teams in the 1-1. Jordan Thomas will toe the line. His first trip to the free throw line tonight. Jay Spencer will come in now for the Thunder, replacing Eichelberger, who leaves with 4 fouls. Derek Mason in now for the Redmen, replacing Steve Weiser. Free throw missed. We got it. Line violation by Spencer as he was trying to get position Baltimore. So Thomas, who missed the free throw, will get another opportunity here. Second one, good. He'll get one more. It's again a chance to cut it to 10 here. Thomas officially 2 for 2 that trip as Quam will come in. He will replace Gunter. Redmond will put on some pressure now. Down 10, 77-67. Francis double teamed in the backcourt, gave up the dribble. Now has to find some help. Gets Quam high on the right wing. Quam to Spencer. Spencer tonight 0 for 4, all 4 taken behind the arc as Francis now double teamed by Baltimore, traveled with the basketball. Keenan Baltimore and Jordan Thomas combined on the double on Francis, forcing him to turn it over. That's 5 TOs now for Francis tonight. Big trip here, under 5 to play, trailing by 10 for the Redmen. Shazi to Baltimore, low left. Gets it back up top. Thomas for the 3, too strong. Rebound Mason, and we foul as Quam got decked from behind by Derek Mason. 4th foul on Mason now. 9th foul. So still the 1-1 here for Zach Quam. Quam just 4-6 at the line this season, averaging 2.5 points, averaging about 17 minutes per game. So Quam's first trip to the line tonight. That one's no good. Rebound Cruz. Thunder now 6 for 10 at the line tonight. Carthage chasing 10 here. 4:40 to play. Thomas wants a ball screen from Shazi. Shazi now gave up the dribble, gives it to Baltimore. Give and go back to Thomas. He'll lay it up. Right. Oh, missed. He was all alone inside and it curled off. He beat Peters to the basket that time and just didn't finish. Thunder now. Quam with it, working left wing. Up top to Spencer. Around the right side to Francis. Francis weaves his way around Mason, flips it up with the right hand. No, got his own rebound, then lost it. Turned it over to Cruz. Cruz with the steal. He'll lay it up and in. Cruz getting past Francis after he gave it up. On his 6th turnover of the night, Cruz able to make him pay. 11 tonight for Cruz. The deficit is 8. 3:50 to go. Francis now with the dribble up high. Out near the center circle. Gets a ball screen from Spencer. Again, the double team and a reach foul on Baltimore. Came up to double team again with help from Thomas, but that time a little too much contact. Made the contact with Francis. Will put him at the line, shooting 2 now as the Thunder are in the bonus. Francis with 23 points tonight as he sinks that one. 3 for 3 at the line. Spencer leaves. Eichelberger back in. Eichelberger with 4 fouls here with 3:42 to play. Francis misses the second, the rebound to Cruz. 9-point deficit, 78-69. Shazi bounce feed to Baltimore. Inside it goes to Cruz, double team, kicks it back out to Mason. Mason lost the ball out of bounds. Cruz tried to save it. Mason turning it over. Third turnover of the night for Mason. 12th by the Redmen. Quam back up top to Peters. Off to Aston Francis. 3:15 to play. 9-point lead. Francis head down, driving, cut off by Thomas. Skip pass to Peters, hands it back. Quam to Peters. Up top, Eichelberger all alone for the three. That one's no good. Rebound Cruz. Not sure that was a shot they were looking for, at least the person taking a shot in that situation. Baltimore held up that time by Eichelberger, who fouls out. Eichelberger with the left hand tried to deny that pass going into Baltimore. Grabbed a jersey and fouls out. So Eichelberger leaves with 9 points. Jay Spencer in, replacing Eichelberger. Keenan Baltimore adjusting the laces on left foot. Now set to toe the line. 27 tonight for Baltimore, 8 here in the second half. Free throw up and good. Chance to cut 7 here. That one's true. 2 for 2 for Baltimore. He will brief rest here as Steve Weiser will check in. Baltimore with 29 points tonight. Getting a little trap in the backcourt. They get it up the floor to Spencer. Spencer, and they'll foul him right away with 2:51 to play. Steezer fouling Jay Spencer. Spencer this season, 68% from the line. This is his first trip to the line tonight. Double bonus. Knocks the first one in. Baltimore back in, replacing Weiser. Spencer's second free throw is good. And a timeout taken by Wheaton. We'll take a break as well. 2:51. Carthage down 9. Do they have another run left? We'll find out when we come back. This is Carthage Redmen basketball on AM 1050 WLIP. Play resumes. Carthage missing a shot. Loose ball on the rebound. Fell through the hands of Keenan Baltimore. They dive for it on the floor. And just able to call timeout as he gathered that one in. 2:33 to go. Carthage down 9, 80-71. Lady Reds a winner tonight as they knocked off North Park 84-59. Morgan Harris tonight, a double-double, 21 points and 11 rebounds. 5 players in double figures for the Lady Reds. Harris, 21 points, 11 boards. Rachel Sidlowski with 17. Maddie Calver with 13. Sammy Woodward with 11. Autumn Kalis on bench for 11 for the Lady Reds as well. So a big win on the road for the Lady Reds. They'll take on Milliken Saturday afternoon. They double team Aston Francis, got it away to Samuels, now off to Quam. Quam trapped at midcourt and was fouled by Keenan Baltimore with 2:25 remaining. Baltimore picks up his 4th. This will put Quam back at the free throw line here. Double bonus. Wheaton with just 8 team fouls. So Redmond still in the 1-1 as Quam connects. 1 for 2 at the stripe tonight for Quam. Second one, off the heel, no good. Baltimore rebound. 10-point lead for Wheaton, 2:20 to play. Still some time here for the Redmen, who've never led. Baltimore, reverse layup from the right is good. Timeout, Carthage. Carthage with 3 timeouts remaining. Baltimore with 31 tonight. Keenan, just his 3rd game back following right thumb surgery. He had injured it the 2nd week of practice in October. Did not start the season on the roster, had surgery in November just before Thanksgiving, and just his 3rd game back, 31 points tonight for Keenan Baltimore. Again, full court pressure put on by the Redmen as Wheaton gets it into Quam. Quam guarded by Shazi. Again, they double team. Quam picked up the dribble. They get it to Samuelson, nearly turned it over, and he does as Cruz gets the steal, the tip out to Thomas. Thomas down the floor will lay it up and one. What an effort by Jordan Thomas after Cruz got the steal at midcourt, tapped it out in front of him. We could lead his mate. As Samuelson turned it over at midcourt with the 10-second count on. And somehow Thomas, bumped off by Francis, was able to finish low right, and a chance for a 3-point play here with 2 minutes to go. And he does. 81-76, the Redmen back to within 5. Again, pressure in the backcourt. Francis will circle around on the dribble. Palmed it, got away with it, stops it more, just beat the 10-second count. Now Quam with it as they'll spread the floor. He'll drive. Quam to the basket, dumps it back to Spencer. Spencer going hard, missed the shot. Ball tipped into the corner, picked up by Peters. Now to Quam, back out to Francis, 1:35 to play. They take it away from Francis. It was tipped out by Mason. He thought Francis tried to put a hand on it. It will be Wheaton ball at midcourt with 1:35 to play. Beaten by 5. Peters into the backcourt to Francis. This is guarded hard by Mason. Weiser will come over on the double team. Gets it to Spencer up high. Now around to Peters. Peters with 13 to shoot and was fouled by Weiser. There, you got the right man. Peters, who has struggled this season at the line, will be there now for the double bonus. 3rd foul on Weiser. Ties his collegiate best, does Baltimore tonight, with 31. And we got problems here at the scoreboard. Was looking back at that previous play at Shazi trying to take the charge by Spencer. I don't think there was any contact. Shazi was falling away, and they let it go. Baltimore is back in as Peters makes the free throw to make it a 6-point game. So this is a big one here. If he makes this, makes it a 3-possession game with 1:23 to go, and does. So Peters comes up clutch at the line. A 40% free throw shooter, drops both in. 83-76, minute 18 to go. Kennedy in now. Gives it off to Mason. Mason, 3 over Quam. Got it! Derek Mason with the triple. Timeout, Redmond. They have 3 remaining with 1:09 to play. Check that, 2 timeouts remaining now. Each team with 2 timeouts. Next foul committed by Wheaton puts the Redmond in double bonus. Possession arrow favoring the Redmond here. As Derek Mason able to drop one in over Quam. His first points tonight. And Keenan Baltimore had 31 last season. At North Central last February. He is off the floor here as Weiser is back in. It'll be Thomas, Weiser, Cruz, Shazi, and Mason for the Redmond. Peters, Quam, Spencer, Francis, and Samuelson for the Thunder. And a 4-point lead here for the Thunder. They will inbound with pressure in the backcourt. Quam gets it back to Peters, now to Francis. Francis now. Pull double team. Gets it across to Peters to Spencer. Spencer now back to Peters. Inside it'll go. Samuelson with the finish. Samuelson left alone on the left block. Able to lay it in. 25, make it 27 tonight for Samuelson. 85-79. Thomas back to Cruz. Cruz blocked. It's loose. Taken away by Samuelson, and that might just do it right there. That might shut the door here on the Redmond. They're going to be forced to foul here late. Down 6, and Spencer fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. That was a costly turnover there. So Jay Spencer at the line, double bonus. With 40 seconds to play, his team up 6. Missed badly on the front end. A line drive brick, if there is such a thing. Lee's out, Baltimore back in. Got to miss here. Got to hope he misses here. Give the Redmen a chance. 40 seconds left. Otherwise, this makes it a 3-possession game. Around and down. 7-point lead, 40 seconds to play. Redmen have to hustle up here. Thomas across midcourt. Works off the Baltimore screen. Try to sack 3. Got away from Peters, laid it short. Cruz trying to keep it alive underneath. Thomas had it, called timeout. Thomas calling the timeout before he went out of bounds. Or did he not get the timeout? He did not get the timeout. They rule him out of bounds. And that puts this one down the river. 25 seconds to play, up 7. Redmen are going to be forced to foul here again. Foul Peters right here, my goodness. Took forever and a day to get that foul. Wheaton led from wire to wire here tonight, led by as many as 19. Jumped out to a quick 14-point lead the first 6 minutes in the first half. Carthage a couple of times cut it to 2. A couple of times here late down to 3 as Peters has come up clutch. A 41% shooter from the line, 4 for 7 at the line here. Make it 5 for 8. And he's made his last 4. Second one good. Lead out to 9 with 22 seconds to play. Redmond going to fall to 4-3 in the league. Wheaton will get to 6-2 at the turn as Cruz drives the basket and slams it home. I'll gladly give you that. Now they get a near tie-up. Brian Fitzgerald saying the tie was called by Samuelson before he got tied up. So the Thunder down to their last timeout here with 16 seconds to play. So Wheaton will take their final, or their full timeout, I should say. They have one remaining. 16 seconds to go. Possession arrow favoring the Redmen. Well, tough one here at home. Redmond finally started to get some traction here with this 3-game homestand, but hey, credit to the Thunder. 3-game road trip here. They win at Augustana, play tough in Naperville on Saturday, but come up empty, but win here on the road in Kenosha tonight. Those are golden in the CCIW. We get road wins, particularly in Rock Island and here. They're setting themselves up for something special here in the final go-round. They will have the bye on Saturday. They will play Illinois Tech Saturday night in a non-conference tilt, the final non-conference game in the league. That should be an interesting matchup. Peters looking to trigger, gets it into Quam. Quam in the corner. We got a foul here on Cruz or Shazi. Which one is it? It's going to go on Cruz. Fouling Quam in the corner here with 12 seconds to play. Again, double bonus here. Redmond will play their next 2 on the road. Saturday in Decatur. No game on Wednesday. They have the bye on Wednesday, and then they'll reconvene in Rock Island for the second go against Augustana. Baltimore in for Weiser as Quam hits the front end of the double bonus. Second one, good. 90-81, all over but the shouting here with the final 12 seconds. Cruz across midcourt. Gets it to Thomas. To Cruz, 7 seconds. Cruz a deep 3 out of the corner. That one's no. Shazi gets the rebound. Shot rejected by Peters. And this one goes to the Wheaton Thunder tonight. An impressive road win tonight for the Wheaton Thunder as they knock